interviewers say, and I am beyond paraphrasing here, that in order to conduct a great interview, you have to be willing to forego your own agenda for the sake of a good conversation. That's not to say that you don't know the questions you want to ask or that you forget the purpose of the interview, but to make the ultimate purpose of the conversation to connect. So how do we connect with children who sometimes seem to want the exact opposite of that, who put up barriers and who don't really want you to get in there, or who might just be going through one of the many phases that kids go through? Well, we learn to truly listen, to understand, and not to respond. And this has been in one of my tips before, but today I really want to break down 3 steps that you can use to do that practically. So how you truly listen to understand instead of respond is to respond in 3 steps. The first step is to respond with something that's really, really, really close to silence. For me, this is especially true when I hear something that triggers me to respond in extremes, in one direction or the other. So extreme excitement or anger or frustration. This first step is for you to get out all of the judgments and biases that you have attached to the statement that you just heard. Whatever you might be feeling about that statement from the moment, the second that you heard it. This step is for intention and awareness. My aunt seemed to be the master at this, and I would always wonder what she was thinking when she would just stop and not really say anything or just stare or look at us or put her head down and really seem to be thinking about what it was she was going to say next. I found myself adopting the same policy in my work so that I could really evaluate what it is that I'm thinking and feeling about what I'm hearing so that I can quickly put it aside so that I can move to response number 2. The second step to listening to understand and not to respond is to ask a question. And I talk about questions a lot, but they're so important, and especially here where you're trying to get information. So this question should be free of judgment because you just released that in the first step, right? You just let that go. This question should be filled with wonder and curiosity and genuine exploration for clarity. And once you truly hear that information, you move to number 3. Number 3 is to ask another question. We're going to be asking a lot of questions because it's so important in connecting. This question is to further your understanding, to weed out any confusion, employ empathy if the opinion or the thing that you're hearing is an opposite view of what you believe, and to continue to engage and to converse with empathy and curiosity instead of judgment. Now, this may feel like it goes against your inclination to be judgy, and because people in general want to judge, they want to put their opinions onto things, right? They want to take the information that they've heard and make it fit to what they believe, and if it doesn't, we have a problem with it. Or sometimes we really just want to help. That's all we want to do. But we have to remember that everybody doesn't want your help. Everybody doesn't need your help. So sometimes it's better just to sit in the knowledge that you're connecting with someone and that you're understanding that person better than you would be if you were constantly judging and running through what they're saying in your head to make it fit into your own view or perspective. And truly, once that other person begins to feel like you're trying to understand them rather than control them or an outcome, they'll be more willing to receive from you. Now, how does this relate to our children? This is so important with children because the reception that we crave from a child when we want an outcome from them only comes after connection, after we make that effort to connect with them and to understand them. So what happens after we follow these steps? Well, we find ourselves conversing with the child, communicating with the child. We find ourselves learning and understanding their motivations. We find ourselves answering questions that they begin to ask us because they see that we're actually interested in getting to know them, the real them, and not just the them that they put on in the morning to get through the day. So I hope that this helps you guys. And this is a lot of the work that we do in our Confident Kids workshop, especially the one for adults. building those communication skills and interactive skills so that when we go to interact with a child, we're pulling the most out of those interactions and we're creating opportunities to be intentional and meaningful and to help our children grow. If you want to schedule a Confident Kid workshop for children or adults for your organization or for your school, click the link down in the description and I'll see you there. Be well.